A pleasant good morning, ladies, gentlemen, Commissioner of Police, the Barbados Police Service, and all specially invited guests. My name is Chrystal Clarke. I am 17 years old and a recent graduate of the Prince's Trust Youth International Program, Team Central, the Valley. Before coming to this program, I would describe myself as a fearful, lost, hopeless, and unmotivated individual with no regard for my future education. But now that has changed. Back in 2021, during COVID, was the worst point in my educational journey for me. Still an immature student, I found myself being caught between my online classes and the distractions of the internet. My work piled up on me. I didn't finish my assignments and even skipped some classes. And the point that really made me just stop trying was when it was held back a year. At that stage in my life, I just gave up on myself and watched as others also gave up on me. 2023 soon came around. I barely made it into fifth form and somehow scraped past my CXEs, getting 2s and 3s and failing one. As someone who had been taught excellence and discipline from a young age, I ultimately thought that I had failed those who taught me these values and that I myself was a failure. However, my story doesn't end there. In September of last year, my father introduced me to the Prince's Trust International Program, and it was then that I thought that this was an opportunity to pick myself back up, shake off the dust, and rediscover my passion for learning. It was time for me to start a new chapter of my life. When I met with Ms. Collymore and she began to go through with me the details of the program, I thought to myself that this is what I need to take the first step to recovery, and honestly, it excited me. When it came around to the first day of the program, because I didn't know who or what would be there, I got really anxious. On the way up to the Valley, I had actually told my mother I wanted to go back home. I said it jokingly, but the thought of meeting new people intimidated me. It also didn't help that I was also running late, and it made me more nervous since I would also be meeting my new teammates. However, when I realized we would all be around the same age and we're here because we wanted to make a change in our lives and develop ourselves, it eased my nerves a bit. After the first week of getting to know each other, the weeks just seemed to fly past. Although every week I was there, something was different. There were some things which stood out to me. Residential week was the first time I was away from home for so long without my family, but I didn't have much time to think about it though. From rowing an inflatable rubber craft where I felt like my arms would fall off, going through an emergency medical drill, pushing against the current in the sea with my teammates, to fighting to stay awake in classes, I didn't have the opportunity to reminisce about home. Although the tasks given to us were sometimes hard to do, I had to keep reminding myself of the reason I was here. Something I learned during this period of time was the concept of team. I especially hated others doing things for me, but the team I was being taught about was that everybody does everything together, shared burdens, shared punishment, and shared rewards. I realized that when I was in school, I never really communicated with my classmates or my teachers, and I was very antisocial. I had forgotten the essence of teamwork, relying on others, and being relied on. Another thing it taught me was that I have the potential to become stronger, that if I truly tried to improve myself and went on with my choice to become better, that I would be able to achieve it. I learned to persevere when it came to doing exercises on the burning sand in the hot sun, responsibility and accountability for my actions when we were made to do push-ups or squats as punishment, and confidence as we were taught to speak up and make sure our voices were heard. Even at the end of the week on the ride home, I told myself that if I got the chance, I would do it all over again. I remember when I worked on the qualifications for the program, and the first section I had to complete was personal development. I fell behind the others because I was struggling to understand what I was required to do for the paper. But after continuously going back at it again and again, I began to understand. It was like an introspection and showing your progression in my eyes. Taking note of my strengths and weaknesses, writing down my plans on how I'm going to work on them, and then carrying out that plan. It felt like I had actually begun to understand what taking the first step was, recognizing where I've been, learning from that experience, and pinpointing where I need to go. Coming down to the latter part of the program, I began to see progress and change in myself. I became more confident as I was exposed to situations where I would have to speak up, like during Next Step, Team Challenge, and work placement. Sometimes I did feel like I was going back to square one or that I wasn't doing good enough, but with prayer, the support of some of my teammates, and a lot of determination, I moved past those old feelings. When met with challenges, sometimes I would let it get to me, but this time I wouldn't give up, and I always went back to try again. I remember the moments with my teammates when we would just be there chatting and getting to know each other during our breaks. And I also enjoyed watching some of our most headstrong and outspoken teammates argue about points with our instructors on why they were right and the other party was wrong. All in all, I really am glad that I was part of this team and this program on a whole. This program has just been a blessing to me in every aspect, helping me to come out of my shell, prepare me for the world of work, help me to think about where I want to position myself in the future and how I can achieve my goals. It has also helped me improve my confidence, and where I was once unmotivated, hopeless, fearful, I am now confident, capable, and eager to continue climbing the steps towards achieving my goals. I offer thanks to Inspector Roger Babb and Station Sergeant Jamal Mohan and their team from the Barbados Police Service and the Princess Trust International Team Program for sponsoring persons like me who have yet to take the next step in life. And lastly, I want to thank God for all of the people who were with me throughout this process and brought me to where I am now. To my parents for giving me the opportunity, to my instructors, Ms. Collymore, Mr. Hill, and Mr. Knight for guiding me on this journey, and to my lovely teammates for making it a memorable experience. It has been a journey I will never forget. Thank you.